On behalf of the Mouvement contre le racisme et pour l'amitié entre les peuples, I welcome you to this side event on the independence of the judiciary in Turkey. Indeed, human rights violations has largely increased since the attempted coup d'etat in July 2016 in Turkey. In this context, the question we would like to raise here is how does the judiciary system works with hundreds of lawyers and judges under arrest or convicted. In March 2017, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights published a first report on the human rights situation in southeast Turkey, which covered the period July 2015 to December 2016, which means 1 year before the coup d'etat. And in that report, the Office of the High Commissioner said that the government security operation have affected more than 30 towns and neighborhoods and displaced between 335,000 and 500,000 people. The report describes the extent of the destruction in the town of Nusaybin in Mardin province, where 1,786 buildings appear to have been destroyed or damaged, and the Sur district of Diyarbakir, where the local government estimates that 70% of the buildings in the eastern part of the district were systematically destroyed by shelling. Heavy damage is also reported from a number of other towns, including Cizre in Şirnak province, where in early 2016, before the coup d'etat, up to 189 men, women and children were trapped for weeks in a basement without water, food, medical attention and power before being killed by fire induced by shelling. Instead of opening an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the reported excessive use of force, the local authorities accused the people killed of participating in terrorist organizations and took repressive measures affecting members of their families. Subsequently, in March 2018, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights published a second report which covered the year 2017, which means after the coup d'etat. And here in the report, the Office of the High Commissioner said that on July 21st, 2016, the government of Turkey notified to the UN Secretary General of its derogation from several of its obligations under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. The Office of the High Commissioner notes with concern that the emergency decrees foster impunity and lack of accountability by affording legal, administrative, criminal, and financial immunity to administrative authorities acting within the framework of the decrees. It is also of concern of the Office that according to the decision of the Constitutional Court of 4 November 2016, the decrees are not subject to judicial review. The Office of the High Commission notes that several decrees regulate various matters unrelated to the state of emergency. For instance, the closure of civil society organizations and medical centers, which seems to indicate that they are being used to limit various legitimate activities. Credible information gathered by the Office of the High Commissioner indicates interference of the executive with the work of the judiciary and curtailment of parliamentary oversight over the executive branch of government. Arbitrary mass dismissal of civil servants and private sector employees, arbitrary closure of civil society organizations, including prominent human rights non-governmental organizations and media, arbitrary detention of people arrested under state of emergency measures, the use of torture and ill treatment during pre-trial detention, restrictions of the rights to freedom of expression and of movement, arbitrary expropriation of private property, and methods of collective punishment targeting family members of individuals suspected of offences under the state of emergency. The Office of the High Commissioner also said that over 4,200 judges and prosecutors were dismissed through executive orders of the High Council of Judges and Prosecutors, while the Constitutional Court dismissed 2 judges. some 570 lawyers were arrested, 1,480 faced some kind of prosecution, and 79 were sentenced to long-term imprisonment. Moreover, approximately 34 bar associations were shut down on the ground of alleged affiliations to a terrorist organization. The Office of the High Commission for Human Rights also identified a pattern of persecution of lawyers representing individuals accused of terrorism offenses. And it is in this framework that I have the pleasure to give the floor to Mr. Öztürk Türkdügen, sorry for the pronunciation, President of the Association for Human Rights in Turkey,